Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? My name is Tyler Walsh, and this is the Hitmakers podcast. If you've watched and listened before, it was previously known as the Music Report. Switching it up, doing a little rebrand, but yes, this is Hitmakers. This is a podcast about the music business and those that are changing the game. Today, I'm joined by...
Oh, say my name right here? It's John Nurse. How you doing?
John, appreciate you coming by, man. Got a lot to dive into, a lot to talk about. But why don't you give us like an intro of who you are and what you do and how you got here, man?
Oh, wow. I feel like that's a loaded question.
It definitely is.
Yeah. Well, I'm John Nurse. I am the CEO of On the Radar Records. I also do artist relations and brand partnerships at On the Radar Radio.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how did I get here? It's been a long journey. I don't know what to tell you. It started off as an intern, and now I'm here.
You started off as an intern?
I started off as an intern. In fact, you're from Buffalo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started off as an intern at WBLK, the local station.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
A lot of people don't know that. My first time was in radio at WBLK as a promo assistant. What was it? Promo intern?
Okay.
So basically, anytime they had events or whatever the case may be, I would have to go like hand out shirts or do like 15 to 30-second clips, like just listen for anything crazy.
Yeah.
It wasn't really much to do, but be at shows, really.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun, but I also had my own business at that time, doing parties and events out in Buffalo.
Oh, yeah.
But that's kind of where it all started from. A lot of it started in Buffalo.
Man, props to you, because growing up in Buffalo, there isn't that much of a music scene out there, so you going out there and making it for yourself.
Especially at that time, yeah. Yeah, everything that was in Buffalo music-wise was imported, I guess you could say. Like, when we did the parties or events, we would take, like, city DJs and bring them to Buffalo, or artists from wherever the case may be, and bring them to Buffalo. But that was, like, the only real music scene. It wasn't like they had the Griselda Now that was in Buffalo.
Yeah.
So they had Rick James, but you know what I mean? That was that.
Yeah. So you went to Damon College, which is like real close to where I grew up. You went to school for business development, right? Or for business?
Business, yeah. Business admin, business marketing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That helped you get to where you are today. You learned a lot because you were pretty active, man. Like I did a deep dive in your LinkedIn, do my research and shit. And
you and this LinkedIn.
Yeah. I love LinkedIn, be sure to use it. But you're in like a lot of clubs, doing a lot. You're active in the scene, and just trying to do it in Buffalo. It's a hard spot.
It was. I mean, I feel like Buffalo's one of them cities that either you like it or love it. And I've always been a person where you got to make the best of your situation. So even if there wasn't much to do, I found something to do. I was never just going to be bored unless I wanted to be bored. Mm-hmm. But yeah, with that came being in a lot of clubs and just a lot of things that, you just kind of just open your eyes to new experiences. Like I was going to be in a fraternity, didn't realize you had to pay for that. I'm like, yeah, no. So I'm not about to do that. So I'm like, okay, how do I make money and have fun? Yeah. And that came with promotion. Doing the parties, doing the events, I made some money, you know what I mean? Instead of spending money. And when I got a name for myself, like the STEP team wanted me to come do their promo. There was like the Multicultural Association. I'm like, I joined different clubs just to help do the after parties, really. Yeah. I'm like, I'll do the after party to your fashion show. I'll do the after party to your STEP show. I'll do the after party to whatever the hell you got. I'll do it. Yeah. As long as the school writes a check, that's good money.
Definitely.
Yeah, so.
Man, I'd say, like, looking back in retrospect, one of the big events, we got to talk about it, man. You booked Drake at his first concert in Buffalo at Damon. I really believe it's his first concert in general, but I'm going to let y'all slide with that Buffalo talk. Yeah. It's like his first show, his first sold-out show, I'll say that. Yeah. Definitely was in Buffalo. Yeah, he said he made, like, Drake shouted you out. He said he got paid $1,000 or $2,000 for that show.
That was... He got paid more than that. We had a low budget. I'll give him that for sure. Yeah. But he got paid more than that. It was like, we had a budget like $5,000 that year. So, and I will say I did make more off that show than he did. I'll say that.
That's crazy. Were you the person that was like, yo, Drake is going to be a star, we need to book him? Or was that like a...
Oh, man. Well, I'll tell you the story behind that. It was a headache. But yeah, for the most part. And the school, till this day, keeps on thanking me for it. Amazing. Because you know how you have schools, you have like, what you call it, the association, student association. Yeah. I wasn't a part of the student association. I was just one of the students who had influence in the city. I'm like, Damon, it's a small college. You got your UBs, your Buff States. Those are all like big schools. So they would have like Rick Ross, Nas, Kid Cudi, whoever you could think of come to the school, and we would have nobody for our Spring Fest. I'm like, every time we had to go to Spring Fest, you go to somebody else's school.
Yeah.
I'm like, why can't we have somebody that people want to come see? And that's when I'm like, okay, I like Drake. I was listening to Comeback Season. All my friends listening to Comeback Season. I was listening to Room for Improvement. I'm like, I'm gonna go get Drake, so I went to the guy who basically was like the student affairs guy. I'm like, so who do we got coming this year? He was saying the Blue Man Group. I'm like, what? To college? You like seriously? He was dead ass serious. The guys in all the blue that played the instruments. I'm like, nah. I'm like, what if I get somebody better? So I started reaching out to Drake's people, negotiated a contract. I'm like, this is how much I got. Start negotiating contracts. He's like, this what you want to do? I'm like, this is what I want to do. He's like, all right, cool. Then just if you got it handled, then that's it.
Yeah.
Now the person who's a part of the student association was supposed to do the shows. Technically, that's what he was supposed to do, the shows. But people don't really go on there and do things. So I guess he got upset that I was planning out Springfest and basically tried to impede on it. So it became a whole big debacle amongst me and him and the school. So the school was like, all right, so John, we know you got the contract. They were waiting. They sent it over and everything to sign. But before we sign it, let's try to give him a chance to, do something to match it. I'm like, match what? What's there to match? You weren't worried about it just a week ago, 2 months ago. So the school ended up reaching out to some talent agencies, and then it boiled down to Drake, DJ Jazzy Jeff, and Asher Roth. So the biggest thing was Asher Roth at the time. He had I Love College, and it was like, okay, this is where we're probably leaning towards because he was a part of the actual student association. So at that point, I had to go fighting him. Basically, at that point, it was the back and forth to the school. Like, all right, we're going to do a voting system amongst the school between Asher Roth and Drake and see who wins. So I had to go and bribe, if you will, the rest of the school to join my side. So I put together a whole Facebook group chat thing, invited everybody in the school to it. Basically, if you didn't know who Drake was, I explained it to you.
Yeah.
Like, y'all don't want to see Wheelchair Jimmy, like, in person? Like, come on. I got everybody on my side. I'm pretty sure he's still mad about this to this day.
Yeah.
And once that was settled, for the most part, after a very long battle between him and I, and mind you, everybody on the student association was on my side too. Yeah. It was just this one guy that was being an asshole. Yeah. I got them to sign off on it. But that was a whole big debacle. Yeah. That's why when it came time for it next year, I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing this. Yeah. And I could have got Big Sean and there was a guy he was linked with at the time. The Cooler Than Me guy. Okay. You know who that is?
Mike Posner.
Mike Posner, yep. Yeah. I could have got them both for the same price.
Hell yeah.
But I was like, nah, I'm not doing this again. Yeah. No, I'm not doing it. And I wasn't about to, I think I did run that year, but I'm like, this is too much too. This is too much work. I'm like, I'm cool. Yeah. Man, anybody that went to Damon College, looking back, is probably like, at that time, must be like, yo, that guy, whoever put on that Drake concert's a genius. But oh, they know. I was surprised because I went back there not too long ago. Like, at On the Radar, one of our interns now, is he getting his master's at Damon. So he went to his undergrad. I go back to school all the time. Reach back.
What's his name?
JV Jordan.
Is he okay? I think I actually know who you're talking about.
Possibly, but he was an undergrad and he's getting his master's now. So I pulled him in as an intern for On the Radar while he's finished out last year. Oh yeah. Yeah, but he started a media situation at Damon because they didn't really have somebody to film like the basketball games and everything like that. I'm like, oh, you have experience so much. Come with me. Come over here. Yeah. But yeah, that show was an epic show for the school and for me. It helped start. Like, you trying to do something and then you actually have something that solidifies, oh, I can really do this. That was that show for me. Oh, yeah. And it was crazy because for Damon students, that show was only $1. And for anybody that was outside of Damon, it was $10. So $1's insane. Yeah. That's why I said I made more money than Drake did. Because I bought up all the tickets and resold them around the city. Yeah, that's so smart. For like $50, $60, $100 as it got closer to it. Wow. Yeah. That's crazy, man. So after, you graduate college, you grew up in Brooklyn, right? I grew up in Brooklyn. So you came back to the city, I assume, and what did you get into after that? I was in Buffalo. I stayed in Buffalo after I graduated
really?
for a little bit because I had a business out there, and I left it to my partners to run. And I came back because I actually, initially, when I went to college, I wasn't even going to college. I went to college because my cousin was working at Atlantic Records, and he was telling me if I wanted to get in, I would have to go to school. Because at that time, they were starting to do background check. You had to have an internship, like official internship. Like you had to go through a school before you was an intern. You was just somebody grabbed you up. You was an intern.
Yeah.
That's what happened to him. But now they were doing like background checks to the point where he had to forge his I'm not sure if I should be saying this, but he had to forge his paperwork via PDF or like what you call that, Photoshop and whatnot.
Yeah.
So like if you really want to do music, be in the industry, he used to bring me up there all the time. Just fell in love with the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like Mike Kaiser just yelling at people and like Julie
it must be
Greenwald,
so fire.
tell him to go grab coffee. I mean, like Little Kim, I'm like, nah, I want to do this.
Yeah.
Like, you got to go to school. So that's how I ended up at Damon. They accepted me. I went.
Oh yeah.
Then, have my own business. I kind of lost track of what I came to school for. I'm like, I wonder if I can get in there now. But at that point, I had graduated. So I'm like, damn. So I actually went back to do an internship at Atlantic Records. I ended up enrolling at ECC to a community college, if you don't know, in Buffalo to get paperwork just so I could go to internet.
You went back to ECC just to get the internship?
I went to ECC, took one class, picked up one class, never showed up for the class. They returned my money after I got the paperwork, and just to get the internship.
That's smart. That's a big brain move right there.
Yeah. I'm like, damn, I really gonna spend like $600 just for papers, and I did. But I'm like, if you don't go to class, they just sent your money back. So I'm like, cool.
Oh yeah. So you went to Atlantic Records to do an internship?
I went to Atlantic Records to do the internship at in the radio department. Actually, it was funny because when I was at BLK, they were trying to convince me to be on air. They said all I gotta do really is get a speech therapist because the way I speak, when I have an accent, if you haven't noticed, I slur my words and like I talk fast. So there's like, and you get like you can really do radio. I'm like, okay, so I thought about it, and then I realized how much I get paid, which was minimum wage. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing this. I'm like, I'm not doing this, not in Buffalo. And so I'm like, I'll do the background of radio. So I went to the promotions department when I was at Atlantic because I was already, had that type of experience.
Yeah.
For the most part, it was on a higher scale, but yeah, I know people who was at Atlantic interning for 2 years, 4 years, trying to get a job. I guess I was just at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
I did it in 4 months. After that, I became the assistant over at Atlantic Records for the promotions department.
Wow. How long were you doing that for?
Probably like a year.
A year?
Something like 8. Yeah, altogether probably like a year.
Nice.
I was working, shout out to the late, great Mar Brown, he passed. I was working on Juliet Jones, and Ron Stewart and Mar.
Okay.
Shout out to Stu. I just seen Stu the other day. He was like, I'm so proud of you. You love telling people I was his intern now.
Yeah.
Like, I was the department's intern, but whatever.
Yeah. So after Atlantic, you made a move over to MTV, right?
BET.
BET.
It was funny because I went over after Atlantic. I went to BET. I think it was BET for what do you call that show? 106 and Park.
Okay.
And then that got canceled after I got there. It was like less than a month. I was like,
wow.
Oh shit, what do I do now?
Yeah.
I was like, but they taking a liking to me, so they just kind of moved me around to different. Cause a lot of people got laid off.
Yeah.
They moved me to special events, so I was doing like Black Girls Rock, the BET Awards, BET Hip Hop Awards.
Oh yeah.
Like so, production really. It was just a different thing than I was used to. Like I had a lot of fun at BET.
Yeah.
Hated the work, but it was a lot of fun itself.
Yeah.
Because it was production work, like a lot of manual labor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I didn't want to sign up for this, but okay.
Yeah.
But it was fun nonetheless. I made a lot of connections. Like a lot of the connections I made at BET, I utilize now. I'll say that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah. Now they're bought by Viacom. Back then it was privately owned, so now it's bought up by Viacom. They're trying to sell it recently, but Paramount I think ended that now.
Yeah,
right?
I saw that like a few days ago, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
They're going to bid on it or something.
Yeah, they ended their bid. It was like $3 billion.
Yeah.
BET, I guess. They got a lot of shows on there.
Yeah. So how did you meet Gabe, and how did you, start on the radar? Was it already created, or did you join later on, or how did you end up there?
Well, Gabe started on the radar in 2018. So he was like in this little room in Power by himself, shooting content. And nothing too crazy, really. Just whoever would pull up. He was doing all the edits and videos himself. I met him in 2019. I was working at Sony Music, and I had just started getting back into the labels. I was trying to get out of BET, just out of production itself, because I was in BET. Then I started doing like commercials and things, because there was just more money in it. And I ended up at Sony just because I was wanting to get back to the label stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working along a small JV called Same Plate.
Okay.
So the PR at Same Plate, Jennifer, she had introduced me to Gabe at Marlon Craft Show at SOB's. And me and Gabe just kind of hit it off till that. From there, honestly. Like, Gabe was one of them kids that could talk. So I was really at the show. Like, I'm kind of more reserved and quiet, just chilling. She introduced me to him and just kept on talking to me. I'm like, oh, wow, you don't be quiet. But we just kind of been friends ever since then. Like, that's my little bro.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so we just kind of stayed in contact, stayed in tune. He saw some of the things I was doing. Was like, yo, I love the shit you doing, bro. I saw some of the shit he was doing. Like, we just stayed in contact the whole time. That's my guy. Because at the time, he was working at Power doing digital.
Mm-hmm.
So he was doing all the digital stuff for Power. And I was just trying to figure it out really over there at Sony. I was trying to get to streaming. You know, what's called editorial programming.
Mm-hmm.
Where you put in basically what I was doing at radio, but for streaming. At radio, your job is to get things. At Atlantic, my job was to get things, along with being an assistant, trying to get things on the radio. All the projects that we working, like I did MMG's, Self-Made 3, trying to get those records on the radio. So I want to try and get records on streaming platforms like Apple Playlist and Spotify Playlist. But it wasn't really going my way as far as like trying to move up. Like there's a lot of gatekeeping when it comes to like label work and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, shout out to Russ Jones. He tried to get me over there at RCA for a long time. I don't want to say a long time, but he definitely had my name in rooms that like I wasn't in.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my next move, and then the pandemic hit, and everything just everything slowed down.
Yeah.
Gabe was trying to figure it out with On the Radar. Because he was trying to really he was starting doing the hosting thing on Power, seriously.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing like real late nights. I remember he doing late night shifts from like 2 to 5. I used to post him up all the time because that's my guy.
Yeah.
And he was just trying to become a radio personality. He had like 5 different, Gabe, he had like 5 different podcasts at that time. He had like a thing with Charlamagne the God. He had On the Radar. He had like another personal podcast. I'm like, bro, you're doing a lot.
Yeah.
But, I tried to support him. He always supported me. And when he finally started doing in person again, because he was doing the Zooms, I would pull up at him at OTR, and he was doing a lot of the drill music.
Mm-hmm.
It was basically known as a drill platform.
Yeah.
And he was trying to expand outside of that, if you will. So we would sit there and talk, and he was mentioning like trying to expand outside of that. I'm like, I might know a few people for you. Just I'll look out for you. He like who? I'm like, Griselda, and he knew who they were. Like at that time, it was like they have more of a mainstream presence now, but it was really underground. Like he's not from fucking Buffalo. I'm like, he probably wouldn't know who that is, but like I know some rappers. He like, but it turns out he was a big fan. Like he knew their music and everything, the merch and everything. I'm like he knows a lot of underground. Like he knows a lot of underground music. So I was just kind of taken back by that. I'm like, okay, well, I know most of the people that's in that realm over there, especially being from Buffalo. I mean, being out there in Buffalo. So I just tapped in and started sending people his way, like Rick Hyde.
Wow, Rick Hyde? Like that early?
Yeah. That was my guy.
2020, yeah.
Yeah. It was like 2020, 2021-ish. Hyde was up here for, let's see, Hyde all the time in the city. Just roaming around. I'm like, bro, why are you here? He's like, we working, we trying to record. So I went to like their first show at SOB's. But I remember Hyde it was me and him in his hotel room. He just put a message out, yo, I'm in the city. Just bored, trying to figure out something to do. So I just pulled up on him, like, bro, what's up? He's like, I don't know, just trying to work when I'm out here. So I'm like, I might have something for you. Why don't you pull up over here on this day? He pulled up, he brought Benny with him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the same day Benny did the intro for High for his first On the Radar freestyle, and he just kept fucking them out since then. Like me and my man Castro just teamed up to bring Gabe like Eddie Kane, Billy Esco, fucking bunch of people, Rome Streets. Anybody that you think of that was underneath that umbrella, we just brought his way Fuego Base, started bringing them that way. And that's how I basically helped work transition into talent relations. And like, I just like, fuck it. I'm just bring Gabe some more people. Like, yeah, appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Then we just started building it out from there, really. And just start getting some spitters up there. Aside from like the drill people, 'cause a lot of drill people, don't get it wrong, some of the drill people really spit. They just choose not to, just because they do it pays for them. But just kind of diversify the platform a little bit. We start bringing up some more spitters.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Y'all got some hits from that too.
Yeah. Some people still owe us some things too, Benny. But he's supposed to be coming back soon to do his thing. It's actually funny because my man Derek Jackson.
Okay.
He is like Westside's right hand man. So he's the one that was helping me kind of facilitate certain things on the Griselda side too. But his act, G5GI, was one of the people that opened up for Drake. I had opened up for Drake when he came to the show. And G5GI changed his name to like something Monk, and he does like a lot of production over there, like beat wise.
Oh yeah.
So it's just a one big like, it's really a Buffalo connection, if you will, that helped transcend me over to On the Radar. And at that point, Gabe knew like my time with Same Play was up because of the pandemic. My time with Sony was up because of the pandemic. You know what I mean? So I'm like, he's like, what you trying to do? You want to come over here like full time? Like just kind of help him and fucking. At first I figured I was going to stay there right enough to change my career, transition my career, like use that as a stepping stone to transition my career. But the way shit was going, I'm like, nah, bro, we got to build this out some more. And we just kind of went from there. Rob was already there. Rob is our executive producer. Rob was there before me. Like, it was Rob, me, Calvin was already around taking he's our photographer. He takes all the pictures. Calvin was coming in and out. Like, I was going in and out at the beginning. And then Toby came around, and that was it, really. That was the team. There's 5 of us.
Hell yeah. Now, I know this is going to be a loaded question, but I got to ask, man. It's like, I know this is like asking, which kid is your favorite, but out of all the On the Radar freestyles that you guys have done, which one has been your favorite so far?
Drake.
Drake?
Drake, there you go.
Of course.
Yeah, that's the one that came full circle for me.
Yeah.
But, and you're not counting Drake. That is loaded. I don't know. Mellow Bucks is one of my favorites.
Okay.
You know Mellow Bucks?
Nah.
From Chicago?
Nah, I got to tap in.
Mellow Bucks is one of my favorite. Cause she came in and did that shit one take, and we all just looked up like, damn, she really cooked. She's one of my favorites. Peasy World Go.
Oh, Peasy's fine.
Yeah. Shit.
Y'all blew up Ice Spice for real. Like
Ice Spice.
Ice
I
Spice
was
was
there
hard.
for that one.
Oh,
you know
really?
that? Gabe kept me away. I feel like on purpose. I'm like, bro, she's like 12. She was of age. Don't get me wrong, she was of age. But I'm like, yeah. I saw Ice Spice up there. I'm like, oh, you something bad. You didn't tell me that one was coming. But Ice Spice came about. I won't say like I like that one. It's one of my favorites though.
Yeah.
I fuck with it. I fuck with Ice Spice, but D thing too. Oh, AJ Tracy was one of my favorites too. AJ Tracy.
Fire.
I fuck with AJ Tracy. But that's a loaded question, all right. Damn.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, AJ Tracy was one of my favorite stuff. For facts.
Definitely. I know another thing you do is you work on the brand partnerships. I know you can't give a lot of details, but what's that whole process been like for you?
It's been a transition.
Transition.
To say the less, but not like too bad because, like I said, I do a lot of my own. I'm truly an entrepreneur. I do a lot of my own business stuff. So, I have a startup, right? And a lot of my biggest, like when you start a startup, a lot of it is pitching because you're trying to get investors. So I was already used to pitching, if you guess you could say that, and decks. So a lot of the brand partnership stuff is just building decks and pitching them.
Yeah.
Honestly, so I kind of had experience in that aspect, but it's about having a brand. Like when you're having a brand you're starting from, you're trying to get people to pay attention. On the radio already kind of had people's attention, so now you're just kind of selling them the whole vision, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, it has the numbers there. So really, you just try to find people that align with your brand, and you know, it kind of just has to make sense
100%.
at that point. But it's nothing crazy, I would say. We just when does this come out?
Like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I just closed a deal with Monster, so Monster's gonna be like the
Congrats,
official
man.
on home, like sponsor, I guess, for OTR.
Hell yeah. Congrats.
Thank you, appreciate it. You know, that one just kind of made sense because I feel like Monster was into like a music aspect, and that came to my mind because of the green. I'm like between the green brand, I feel like Monster came to my mind. But Benny actually, he had a tour 2021, and I remember half of it was sponsored by Monster, so I just kind of looked more into that realm, like what they're doing over there. I'm like, oh nah, this would definitely align with what we have going on. So for me, it was either Monster or Red Bull, but no, Monster, the aesthetic wise, just I wanted that.
Yeah.
So
You briefly mentioned your startup. Are you still doing that?
I am still doing it, but I'm trying to transition it a little bit, especially now that I got some different elements in my disposal. You know, like I think it's easier for me to kind of grab investors, so I just want to position it. You know what I mean? Because it was a live interactive streaming service, but then you have like competitors like OnlyFans and Facebook. I mean, Instagram started doing their subscriber bases. Then a lot of little smaller companies started popping up. So when you're doing a startup or any type of business, really, the biggest thing is the niche, what separates you from the rest. You know, and what my niche was, I feel like people started moving in that realm. So now I got to kind of revamp the vision. It's like even with OTR, there's a niche there that other people just don't have, where we do a lot of smaller tier artists along with the bigger tier artists. Like we could have, like again, your Drakes or your fucking Ice Spices now currently 1 week, and then next week have Joe Schmo from Up the Block that has a little buzz in the city. But that's a niche because a lot of people right now just want the big guy. Yeah. And we built our name off having, you know what I mean, the big guy mixed with the little guy. And that's why people, I think, really respect the brand itself. So whether you're doing a startup or any business, your biggest thing's going to be your niche. And I just kind of want to revamp the niche a little bit and then go back out on the investor pool. And now I got a bigger pool to choose from at this point.
100%. More recently, you guys started On the Radar Records. You're the CEO of that, man.
Yes, I am.
How's that been? How's it feel? Like, and you know, you guys just started dropping stuff. Like
crazy. We got a whole lot of more coming.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's been great. Honestly, it's been. I mean, it has some stressful moments, but that all came from Ice Spice. Honestly, because I was telling Gabe, why, like, we really reaped nothing from that. Like, she did her On the Radar freestyle, got a bunch of views, put out Munch, and then got signed. So I told Gabe, like, that's something that can never happen again. Like, we should have signed Ice Spice, bro. Like, how come we didn't do that? He was like, I don't know. Like, I don't have the infrastructure to do it, really. You think about it, because it's a podcast, not a label. But with all the talent, especially the young talent that we catch early, like, a lot of these execs sit inside their major labels and have On the Radar in their decks and their presentations to scout who's next coming. So like, if we have this ability to have them early, why aren't we signing them? Why aren't we doing projects with them before they get signed? So that way, you know what I mean, we could reap the benefits. But Gabe's biggest thing at the time was he just didn't have the time, really. Because the podcast is a lot. Yeah. The podcast is a lot. And he went from doing everything himself and micromanaging to kind of divvying up responsibilities and this, that, and third. But even with that, you know, he got to build his own personal brand. So now you see him on Amazon, hosting on Amazon or Amped, you know. He's doing a lot of showcases. He just didn't have the I'm like, all right, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to start the fucking, the label. You know what I mean? I'm going to run everything, and you ain't got to worry about it. Oh, yeah. And that was the deal. That's the deal we made. You're like, all right, that worked for me. and we just partnered on the label, and we launched the top of the year this year. We put a lot of the as much of the freestyles as we can on DSPs right now, especially when it comes to like some of the independent artists. I brought in some of our producers. We have 2 producers I brought in to, orchestrate the beats for the artists. So when you come to OTR now, you have a beat pack that comes to you. Cause we try to get everybody to rap on our producers' beats, so that way we can put them up on streaming, and we're doing our own original projects. So a lot of EPs, a lot of Lucy's, and the full length eventually is gonna come too.
Just tell me, what's next for On the Radar Records, what you got going on, man.
Oh man, cause right now we're in a lot of talks with a lot of distributions. We're in a lot of talks with people that want to do a JV. We're in a lot of talks with people that like multimedia companies, and we're just trying to do what makes sense, really. Cause eventually, future-wise, we're gonna get to the position where we're signing people. Like it's a label, that's the point. But right now, we're just kind of focused on the freestyles and the original projects, original Lucy's. We have one out with Fadi. She's an Afrobeats artist. We have Sexy's Besties out with Matthew Ali, Vontae the singer, and Charlie. Last night we released Burr with Fergie Baby, Josh Couture, and B-Jax. We have a whole like Slizzy Gang joint coming out soon.
That's so fire. The whole city's gonna be listening to that one.
Yeah,
man.
so freaking Matthew Ali, he produced that whole joint. And we just got a whole lot of records that we just haven't put out yet. Like we have a whole project with 93mm, Dusty Little Kane's label.
Oh yeah.
That we're gonna do a joint project with. And a lot of things in the tuck, really, just keep crunking them out. And we're just trying to do things that make sense. Like you said, the Slizzy joint is gonna go crazy in the city.
Yeah.
So we just want to be able to put as much attention on it as possible. So we're trying to partner with somebody to release that one that makes sense. Really, that's the only real thing with that. If it don't make sense, then we just put it out ourselves and do what we do normally.
Hell yeah. That's exciting, man.
Yeah, but this year we're gonna be trying to do a lot more. We're in the middle of a tour right now. We're gonna do a lot more events. We do a lot more pop-ups surrounding the releases that we got coming out. Merch surrounding the releases we got coming out. Our first collab with merch was with Don't Watch TV, who designed for Griselda.
Mm-hmm.
So we did a collab with him.
Oh yeah.
We have by the time this is out in like 2 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll have our collab with shoutout. Our 50th anniversary is coming up on the 31st. So yeah, we got a lot of things moving right now.
It's exciting, man. One of the coolest things I've seen you guys do is the DJ sets. I think like I used to DJ back in the day.
I didn't even know that. Okay.
Yeah. I'll tell you about that. And it's just so cool to see, like, I saw like Goldie up there and shit. And, like, it's just cool that you guys are expanding even beyond hip hop too.
Yeah, and with that, because other people's music, we can't really monetize off the DJ sets, but we're trying to kind of just break into a different realm with like the electronic and house music as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the DJ sets kind of help with that. So we're going to be bringing some more back.
Hell yeah.
Some more back for sure.
Are you guys going to do any like On the Radar live events, like official parties and stuff like that? Because I know you have your party promotion days and like.
Those days are long behind me.
Long behind you.
I keep trying to tell Gabe, he's trying to get me to do it because he hates doing live events for the most part,
mm-hmm.
but he also wants to do them.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what do you mean? Which one is it? Which means he wants me to do them.
Yeah.
So the first kind of one that we had was in Atlanta, technically. But we put that together in like 3 days.
Wow.
That one was all over the place. But we did the one in the city here for Gabe's birthday.
Oh yeah.
To like kind of preset the 50th anniversary of OTR. That was, he was there,
Mm-hmm.
That was chaotic, but also it went up. It was a great party for the most part.
Yeah.
We have our 50-year pop-up August 31st. And I want to do something surrounding Fashion Week, but we're going to be in Philly. So that probably won't be happening. But we'll do a lot more events, a lot more curated shows, especially with a lot of people that we've been working with, especially on the label side. So we're putting in all these tapes and everything. I want to do something for the city, like a OTR, like Gabe, P, and Friends type of ordeal.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be putting some more shows in the city, for facts.
That's fine, man.
I'm reaching out to some people too for you sponsors.
Hell yeah. Amazing. One of the things we do on this podcast, we like to talk about trends just going on in the industry, get your 2 cents on it. One of the big ones I feel like is really interesting is called like, people are calling it like localization, which is like global localization, where like, you have like regional Mexican going crazy and Afro beats, where like these genres take over certain regions and then blow up like internationally, like even like K-pop, just seeing.
Glad you explained that.
Yeah, it's very confusing. Dan Runcie, who runs Trapoli, describes it great. That man's a genius. But, you seeing all these emerging artists and being in the cut and seeing like who's up next, like, have you noticed anything like has like really caught your eye about like emerging genres or just anything interesting like that?
I mean, nothing that you don't already know. Like, it was the drill scene at first, and now it's like this Jersey club music that kind of took over some, I feel like. Like, a lot of it with the Jersey club, with the, the Coil Ray, B-Jax around here.
Shout out B-Jax.
Cash Cobain, he doing his thing.
Cash Cobain.
Yeah, like, that Jersey club sound is really what's going to be moving things forward, I feel like, for right now.
Hell yeah.
Outside of that, we'll see. We'll see, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Afrobeats took over for a long time with the Abbott piano parties and whatnot.
Yeah.
I think I just went to my first one the other day, and they had like a live instrumentation going on, so it was crazy. It was fire. I ain't gonna hold you.
That's
like,
wild.
I don't know how many I can go to, but that one was great.
Yeah.
Like, so we'll see. But right now, definitely that Jersey club sound. And the Detroit beats. A lot of people got hopping on Detroit beats.
Yeah,
so that's
I noticed
gonna be a
that.
thing moving forward.
Yeah.
Like that, I think that's gonna take over.
Yeah, that's super interesting that you say Detroit too, because I feel like there's like all these different cities that are popping up now. It's like St. Louis has a big scene now, emerging scene. Milwaukee even has them.
Bro,
like all these random cities now have a big scene.
Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Like, cause we're on a tour right now. People kept bringing up Milwaukee to me, so I'm like, fuck, let me go talk to Gabe. How you feel about going to Milwaukee? He's like, Milwaukee, bro? Yeah. I've been hearing about Milwaukee. I'm like, what is this thing about Milwaukee? Who's in Milwaukee?
These two right here behind the camera.
Are you really both from Milwaukee? What the fuck? I'm like, what's Milwaukee? But this keep coming to my door. I'm like, okay, Milwaukee and Ohio are the two that keep going, like, I'm like, we just have to go out there. So we've been putting it together, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
And we actually found somebody who wanted to sponsor the whole trip to Milwaukee. So I'm like, I guess we're going to Milwaukee. We've already found that. So I'm like, all right. I did not know that y'all fucking from Milwaukee.
Yeah. I should preface with that. Yeah. Final question. I ask this to everybody just because I'm very curious, but what's your take on how TikTok has changed music and the whole landscape? Because, I even like there's so many artists that just Tia Corinne, for example, she's a homie. She's a friend of Vayner where I work. She just posted her freestyle and it just went crazy. Ice Spices went wild on there. Like, what's your take on TikTok and how it's changed music?
Bro, I don't know if I have a take on TikTok. I don't use that thing.
Really?
Not often, no. I only use it when somebody sends me something.
Respect.
I know it definitely changes music. And they tell, even I don't use it. I'm like, if you're an artist right now, you need to have TikTok. Like, you should be on TikTok. Like, you should have sounds on TikTok. Because, I don't know, bro. It's like, it just helps perpetuate the narrative of what you're trying to sell.
Yeah.
Especially with the way that the fucking demographic has moved around in the past few years. Like, there's no more CDs being sold.
Facts.
So, it's just a sales tool. It's a marketing tool that you should be utilizing. Like, why would you not?
Yeah.
I
know a lot of the artists are like, oh, I don't want to be making TikToks. Like, I just want to make music. But it was the same thing with music videos back in, the 90s. It was like artists didn't want to do it, but the ones that did reap the benefits. It was a marketing driver.
It's a marketing driver. It's like, Gabe don't like doing TikTok. Let me tell you, he's the first rapper signed to OTR. He don't know it. He's definitely a rapper. He don't like doing TikToks, but shout out to B-Jax.
Yeah, shout out B-Jax.
One person that can get him to do it is B-Jax once in a while. So I'm like, there you go. You don't even got to do much. Friday made him do a little dance for the record release. So, I'm like, because they understand the power of TikTok. Like, I think B-Jax made a lot of his following between that one record and the TikTok.
Yeah, man. Jersey Love went fucking wild.
Jersey Love went crazy on there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think he's a TikTok star. I don't know his following on there. I never really look at it, but he's on there consistently, and people seem to love him
Yeah.
either which way.
When he came by the office, he was like, yo, do you care if I make like TikToks up here? And I was like, nah. He literally recorded like 5 in this office, just like
I believe it.
him just like dancing like in the camera, like yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like, why would you not? Especially in the realm right now, if you're a Jersey club artist, like I think the sound alone moves on TikTok. So you should definitely be doing that.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a TikToker though. Fucking.
Good for you though, because that shit will suck you in. You'll be doom scrolling for hours, and
I've been there. Once in a while, I go on there, and I just lost.
you never feel good after.
Yeah, like,
Never.
But Gabe's handled a lot of the socials, so he'll do.
Oh yeah,
things.
he posts everything. He like writes all the copy and stuff, right?
I mean, he did. He ran Power 105 social for 7 years.
Really?
So why would he not? I'm not about to do it. So
Yeah.
somebody gotta do it. He does all the socials. For the most part, I mean, photographer Calvin, he started hopping in there too. So he started doing like a lot of social clips as well. But for the most part, we used to be Gabe. We all tried to get him to stop doing a lot of things and kind of move out of a lot of things. But it's hard. He's very hands-on with a lot of it.
Hell yeah.
But yeah.
Word. I appreciate you for coming on, man. Do you have any, final closing thoughts? Anything you want to plug?
Final closing thoughts? I don't think so. Like, I mean, you can definitely make sure you check out all our freestyles. Follow On The Radar Records on all platforms. We're out there. Bird just dropped. What's up? Sexy Bestie just dropped. We don't have a name for the Matthew Ali project, but it's coming. On the Radar, Matthew Ali.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, nothing too crazy right now. Our 50th anniversary, 31st. This probably comes out around that time. We got the merch coming with 6 Shot. We still selling merch from Don't Watch TV. Our website is up. Our website is up.
Oh yeah.
And we're doing blogs now. So if you're a new artist looking to get your stuff out there, you can hit us up to hop on the blog.
Where they hit you up at?
Hit up On The Radar email that you can find. What's it? On The Radar show, On The Radar radio show at gmail.com. You can hit that.
Hell yeah.
And throw your subscriptions in there, your inquiries and whatnot.
Amazing.
Yeah. And we'll grab it from there. And then that's pretty much it.
Oh yeah, man. And where can they follow you on socials or on Instagram since you don't use TikTok?
I don't use TikTok. But you can follow me at Mackie Son. It's MACKYS_son. SON.
Hell yeah, man.
Yes.
John, appreciate you for hopping on, man. Appreciate you jamming, taking the time. I know you're a busy guy.
Yes.
You're taking over the world right now. So yeah, you're going to war. Yeah. Amen, brother.
No, definitely appreciate y'all for having me. This is fun. I'm trying to do more things like this.
Hell yeah.
So I appreciate you ringing us up. I know you had Gabe up here not too long ago. One time I'll get a joint interview with him. Like a lot of people interview us separately.
We'll set that up. We can set that up for sure.
Set that up, yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you everybody for watching and listening. If this is your first time, be sure to favorite and like this on your preferred podcasting platform. My name is Tyler Walsh. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, peace.
Peace.